All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be doing a video on modifying the Humpter B3 booth. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I actually just picked up this lav mic from Amazon, which I'll probably do a review on next because I noticed on the last video the audio quality wasn't the greatest. So I hope you guys can hear me. Anyway, so I run a wireless Shure mic, which I don't have a rack for it, so I'm just going to be using the shelf down here. The only thing I usually put on the shelf is my Furman power conditioner and a wireless mic. And I wasn't sure if the TV or the front screen would interfere with the antennas at all. So what I did was I went out and I bought these extenders. These are, I don't know, I want to say like coax cables for, I don't know if they work for television or TV, but they do work for the mics. I think I paid 16 bucks for a pair of 5-foot cables. And so what I'm going to be doing here is, let me remove these real fast. My initial thought was I was going to install it here in these end caps just because these caps are probably really inexpensive to replace. So I was going to, if I ever decide to sell the booth, I was going to drill it into this end cap and then run the wire inside the frame here, but then that would require me to drill into the actual frame of the booth, which it isn't visible, but I don't like drilling into a bunch of things. So what I decided to do was drill into this front plate because it's thin, it's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to be a lot cleaner. And if you wanted, if I sold this booth to somebody else and they wanted to replace this part, it's not going to be that expensive. So and the other main reason is if I were to put the antenna right here, I feel like people could bump into it and possibly damage it. So I just think it's going to look a lot cleaner right here. So let me take the camera off the mount here and show you a close-up. So here's the end cap. I was going to install it here, but you can see that it kind of sticks out quite a bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it right here. I think this is going to be the cleanest. It's going to be out of the way. And it just looks like it was meant to be there. So I don't know if you can see the crack back there. There's a lot of room where that cable can actually go underneath the table. I'm going to drill a hole right back there. So stay tuned. All right, so these are the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a power drill of some sort. I believe this is called a nail punch. And then you're going to need some masking tape. And then this is a step-up drill bit, I believe. I don't know what the maximum size is, but actually it says it right here. Looks like it's a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to be drilling it out to a 1/2 inch because this is also a 1/2 inch. So, and then I also have a towel right here. I also have a hammer. Towel's here so you don't scratch the surface of your DJ booth. But yeah, let's get started. All right, first things first, I'm going to remove all of the tools off of the table here and set it on the ground. And then what I'm going to do is I have to measure. We're actually going to mark where the bottom of this top plate is. And I'm going to do that with a piece of tape. And I'll show you here in just a bit what I'm doing in the back here. All right, let me take this camera off the tripod. I'll show you what I did. So back here is where I'm going to run that wire. I'm going to drill somewhere right around here. So I marked the top of the tape so that way I know I need to go below that and then obviously above that bottom part. So I'll take off this top surface here and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so this is what it looks like without the top plate. And the reason why I marked this is because I don't want to drill above that. So that line is the bottom of that top shelf. And so I don't want to drill above that at all. So I'm probably going to go right around here. And then another thing that you should consider is the placement of the antenna. I initially wanted it like right over here because it's going to look the cleanest, but it's going to be annoying to try to fit your fingers in there every time you remove the antenna. I don't plan on keeping these antennas on here. I'm probably going to take them off at every gig, but you want to give yourself just enough space so that you can fit your thumb or your finger in there. So I'm probably going to be about 1 inch away from the edge. So I'll mark that as well. All right, so once you know where you're going to put it, you're going to want to mark it. I put some tape on the front too so that I can see the marker a lot easier. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the cable. I'm going to measure it and see. There's also a bolt back here. You want to make sure you give it enough clearance on the back. I think it's called the bulkhead. So rough estimate, it's going to be like right around here. So I want to go right around this area. So I'm going to mark it there, do my markings. So I think I'm going to drill like right there. And then I'm going to put the shelf back on just to make sure that it clears before I actually drill. All right, I think this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to try to dent it. And you can use a nail if you don't have one of these. I'm just want to create a little indent right there. And then I'm going to start to drill it out. Okay, I've got a little dent right there. It's my little pilot hole. And then you're going to want to measure that and go do the exact same thing on the other side. So this is about 16.5 millimeters. I'm going to go to the other side and mark it at the same spot. All right, I find it actually easier once you know where you want it. I find it a lot easier to actually take this front piece off of the DJ booth and then just put it on the edge of a table. You'll have to excuse the Easter stuff there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the height, or actually let's go with the width first. So I'm going to go 31 inches. I'm sorry, let's see here. Yep, 31 millimeters. So we'll go over here. I'm going to mark it. All right, that's 31. And then over here, we're going to go with, it's about 15 actually. So go 15. And then we'll mark it right here as well. And then from here, probably be a lot easier to make a hole. All right, now that we've got that done, we just drill. Got the pilot hole here. Got the step up bit here. I'm gonna take it away from the table so I don't put a hole in the table. Okay, I'm just gonna back up a bit to check, so I don't want to drill too big. All right, let's check. So if you got a nut right here, and then you have, I believe this is a lock washer. Comes with the kit. That's almost there. I just need to step up just a little bit more. Let's check that again. Nope. We're gonna have to go to the full 1/2 inch. All right, moment of truth. All right, let's keep going. That should do the trick. There it is. All right, so the hole came out perfect. Not sure if you can see that or not. But one thing that I always like to do is I always have black nail polish around. I like to do this so it doesn't rust. I also build motorcycles too, so you just don't want to have any exposed metal. If you do, you just put some of this on there. It'll take a couple seconds to dry, and then you don't ever have to worry about rust. Little secret that I learned from my motorcycle buddies. That's it. Show you guys real quick here. And that should fit perfectly. I've got some tape back there. And that's it. All right, so on to the other side now. I've got it marked. Just gonna go through. All right, pretty easy. Came out pretty clean. You're gonna want to get rid of all of these metal shards. Just make sure you have a dustpan and a broom handy. That's the back. Let's see if this fits. Perfect fit. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're also going to paint this with the black nail polish so it doesn't rust. So check it out, guys. This is going to be the final product. Just have to stick this through here. Actually, let me remove the nut. So that's going to go through right here. Actually, let me go over here and show you guys. All right, so let me show you what we're doing here. I've got the whole board out, drilled out, and I've got the cable with the bulkhead on one end. Here's that front shelf. You can't really see it from this angle, but the hole's right here. Fits through perfectly. Put that on one side. This is the behind the booth, and this is in front of the booth over here. You're going to put on this lock washer, and then you're going to put on the nut. And then hopefully the table will fit right on top of it. I'll probably tighten that down with a wrench. So let's get this antenna on here, just to do a little, that's it. That looks really clean. All right, so I've got everything buttoned up here. This is going to be the final product. Not sure if you can see it well because it's black on black, but I'm pretty happy with the results. You got the antenna here. You can bend it any way you want. Easily removable. It's just the nut and the washer. Not sure how this is going to fit in the case. You could either keep that extension on there and then Velcro the cords and keep it in the case with that piece, or you could actually just take the wire completely out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me turn off this focus here. So that's what it looks like with it on. And then this is what it looks like with it off. I think it's barely noticeable. Let me show you guys what it looks like from back here. This is the top shelf of the booth. This is the front of the booth. It's the perfect fit. It's out of the way so you don't bump into it. If you end up not wanting to use the antenna, you can actually get these 13mm black panel plugs. You can get about 30 of them in a box for like $6. It's the 13mm size, also known as the 1/2 inch. Just cleans it up a little bit.